Those cultural attitudes that I have seen carried out in this world that I don't particularly agree with, or strange ideologies that I don't agree with, I don't support, I don't like, I desire to fade away or to transmute. And I will provide my examples of what the transmutation would look like. Okay, so the cultural attitudes that I don't like is loyalty to ideologies which are destructive to another living being on the principles of color. I don't agree with this ideology that says you must be with this appearing person, and if you are in a relationship or you're attracted to or you are paired with or whatever, if it is mutual or it is reciprocated, you take an interest in each other, why does anybody care? And this would include, why does the familial ties care? Why does society care? Why does anybody care? Why does anybody care? Why? This, like, it's not a written rule. It shouldn't be. It's really offensive and it's really just irritating and really shallow minded. This ideology that says you can't be with this person because of how they look. I wish, and I wish what I would see appear in this world, or any world for that matter, is for the same hostility that people have toward a so-called appearance of a person, being attracted to someone of an opposite or of a different spectrum of being. For instance, the ideology of black and white, brown and yellow, red with purple, purple with blue, blue with orange. You get my drift, right? I wish that the negativity, the hostility would be more directed towards the relationship dynamics, which are with the exploit of control, thus implying that if this is someone who evidently or obviously could be very much mature, older, and have experienced life a hell of a lot longer than someone who is not, quote, the age of majority. I find this to be very much unsettling and very disgusting to me. The reasons being is that it's an unparalleled field. Of course, if I were to go prey on a 13-year-old boy, I'm at an advantage. No matter what anybody says, I'm at an advantage over that 13-year-old boy in a lot of different dynamics. He may be having an advantage over me, but I have far more. My advantages exceed his on many different levels. But the thing is that this cultural appropriation, which I find to be absolutely disgusting, but nonetheless, in this world, what we see practice here is a cultural attitude, behavior, and exchange that perpetuates and enables this dysfunctioning, degenerative, and dehumanizing stance of living, if we can even call it that. I don't consider it living. I don't consider young children being exploited to be a considerable way of living. I think that y'all grown folks who have nerve enough to bully and pick on us younger ones, that you should have to go, pay for your fucking dues rather than sacrificing us, abusing us, exploiting us sexually, financially, intelligibly, so on and so forth, always taking us for granted, but wanting the appreciation, the worship from, and the respect given to you, the so called elders who have done everything but be our elders and have blatantly misguided us, disrespected us, walked all over us, mistreated us, used us, um, just completely disregard us and consider us to be worthy of being disrespected, but wanting and demanding and beating us, beating us and doing all types of violations and violence and stuff towards us. Those who dare to speak up, question things. So, yes, this racial, dogmatic, unreasonable, and really just, it's so shallow. Be like, oh, how are you? How dare you be with who you are happy with, or how dare you be attracted to someone who you weren't, you don't, maybe, I don't know if the reasoning is behind whether we look like them or something. I would think, in my head anyways, people who look like you probably shouldn't be procreating with. Maybe that's why we got into trouble in the first place, perhaps because you're going towards people who look like you. I mean, in my case, this isn't the same as others, but like, for some people who are like, both of your parents are black, or both of your parents are white, whatever, or both your parents are Asian, both your parents are whatever, Hispanic, so on and so forth. You go down the list. You would think that you would want to be with someone who doesn't look like you, just to avoid the possibility of you procreating with someone who is actually you're related to, in some aspect, maybe. That's just my thought. I'm not saying that is what it is. I'm just thinking. Okay. Anyways, so I don't like this because I was teased and picked on as a kid for somebody that I liked in school, or rather, he liked me, and I guess we liked each other, but it was like shunned. I was like groomed or trained or brainwashed to like everything that I liked or I found attractive. I was told was wrong, unacceptable. Like even women, I like women too. Yes, I don't care what anybody has to say. If that makes me a sinner, that's my first name. Yes, my name is Sin. Thank you. Anyways, so yeah, I liked girls. I knew that I liked girls from a young age, but I didn't have a word for it. I didn't I didn't know there was such a word as lesbian back in those days. But I'm not a lesbian. I don't even consider myself a heterosexual or a lesbian. I don't consider myself gender fluid.
I'm going to put this on the speaker so hopefully you can hear it a little bit better. And I'll start it from the top.
Welcome to All Tech Lansing.
Strange cultural attitudes that I have seen. Strange cultural attitudes that I have seen carried out in this world that I don't particularly agree with, or strange ideologies that I don't agree with, I don't support, I don't like, I desire to fade away or to transmute. And I will provide my examples of what the transmutation would look like. Okay, so the cultural attitudes that I don't like is loyalty to ideologies which are destructive to another living being on the principles of color. I don't agree with this ideology that says you must be with this appearing person. And if you are in a relationship or you're attracted to or you are paired with or whatever, if it is mutual or it is reciprocated, you take a interest in each other. Why does anybody care? And this would include, why does the familial ties care? Why does society care? Why does anybody care? Why does anybody care? Why? This, like, it's not a written rule. It shouldn't be. It's really offensive, and it's really just irritating and really shallow minded. This ideology that says you can't be with this person because of how they look. I wish, and I wish what I would see appear in this world, or any world for that matter, is for the same hostility that people have towards a so-called appearance of a person, being attracted to someone of an opposite or of a different spectrum of being. For instance, the ideology of black and white, brown and yellow, red with purple, purple with blue, blue with orange. You get my drift, right? I wish that the negativity, the hostility would be more directed towards the relationship dynamics, which are with the exploit of control, thus implying that if this is someone who evidently or obviously could be very much mature, older, and have experienced life a hell of a lot longer than someone who is not, quote, the age of majority. I find this to be very much unsettling and very disgusting to me. The reasons being is that it's an unparalleled field. Of course, if I were to go prey on a 13-year-old boy, I'm at an advantage. No matter what anybody says, I'm at an advantage over that 13-year-old boy in a lot of different dynamics. He may be having an advantage over me, but I have far more. My advantages exceed his on many different levels. But the thing is that this cultural appropriation, which I find to be absolutely disgusting, but nonetheless, in this world, what we see practice here is a cultural attitude, behavior, and exchange that perpetuates and enables this dysfunctioning, degenerative, and dehumanizing stance of living, if we can even call it that. I don't consider it living. I don't consider young children being exploited to be a considerable way of living. I think that y'all grown folks who have nerve enough to bully and pick on us younger ones, that you should have to go, pay for your fucking dues rather than sacrificing us, abusing us, exploiting us sexually, financially, intelligibly, so on and so forth, always taking us for granted, but wanting the appreciation, the worship from, and the respect given to you, the so called elders who have done everything but be our elders and have blatantly misguided us, disrespected us, walked all over us, mistreated us, used us, um, just completely disregard us and consider us to be worthy of being disrespected, but wanting and demanding and beating us, beating us and doing all types of violations and violence and stuff towards us, those who dare to speak up, question things. Um, so, yes, this racial, dogmatic, unreasonable, and really just, it's so shallow. Be like, oh, how are you? How dare you be with who you are happy with, or how dare you be attracted to someone who you weren't, you don't, maybe, I don't know if the reasoning is behind whether we look like them or something. I would think, in my head anyways, people who look like you probably shouldn't be procreating with. Maybe that's why we got into trouble in the first place, perhaps because you're going towards people who look like you. I mean, in my case, this isn't the same as others, but like, for some people who are like, both of your parents are black, or both of your parents are white, whatever, or both your parents are Asian, both of your parents are whatever. Hispanic, so on, so forth. You go down the list. You would think that you would want to be with someone who doesn't look like you just to avoid the possibility of you procreating with someone who is actually you're related to, in some aspect, maybe. That's just my thought. Not saying that is what it is, I'm just thinking. Okay. Anyways, so I don't like this because I was teased and picked on as a kid for somebody that I liked in school, or rather, he liked me, and I guess we liked each other. But it was like shunned. I was like groomed or trained or brainwashed to like everything that I liked or I found attractive. I was told was wrong, unacceptable. Like even women, I like women too. Yes, I don't care what anybody has to say. If that makes me a sinner, that's my first name. Yes, my name is Sin. Thank you. Anyways, so yeah, I liked girls. I knew that I liked girls from a young age, but I didn't have a word for it. I didn't I didn't know there was such a word as lesbian back in those days, but I'm not a lesbian. I don't even consider myself a heterosexual or a lesbian. I don't consider myself gender fluid or non-binary. I know that I'm a woman, yes. I know that I am mixed race, so called, but I mean, whatever. I know that I'm animal and I'm everything and nothing. I know that, I know a lot of things and I don't know a lot of things, okay? So, with that being said, I don't like the the practice of shaming people into liking whatever, unless with the exception of it's pedophilic, or it is exploitation. Like why? Why do y'all creatures on this planet enjoy the act of exploitation so heavily? I'm just curious to know why. Why? I mean, it's like you're in bed with this power trip. Like, it's like, is that what you fuck every night or what? Like, power, I must have more and more. I just don't get it. I can't really rationalize it because I don't care for it. So maybe that it just is what it is. So moving on, what would examples look like? Examples of this being transmuted would be um perhaps rather than going based upon an identity, you would go based upon characteristic personalities. I think, to a certain degree, opposites attract, but I think likeness, I don't know, just be balanced. I like balanced people. I don't put one over the other. I like the darkness just as much as I like the light. It just ends up manifesting differently from others. Some people like to go around and fucking fuck people up and be violent towards them and steal and stuff. I don't prefer that. But I mean, I have a very dark sense of what I consider to be funny. I mean, a lot of things I won't tell you, but it just is what it is. I don't like this whole thing where everybody has to be fake as hell. I think it's annoying, or you end up liking or being with somebody who makes you fucking miserable. And I think that pretty much applied for my life is like just putting up with and tolerating a lot of things that the people that make me miserable. I don't want them. Like, or only falling for a physical whatever, wanted to be with someone because of a physical attraction. I guess yes. Who doesn't like someone physically appealing? But there has to be more depth to that. And unfortunately, I don't know. I haven't been everywhere, but I've been a couple places and I haven't really seen much of this in abundance. Like where the fuck do I have to go to, a fucking mountain or some shit? Just to be with someone or amongst people like who have, I mean, some sense and like are not afraid to honor that, or is that just like supposed to be so against the rules here on this planet? Well, even if it is, I guess I'll break the rules and I'll be rebellious. I'll be the lawbreaker. I don't mind. It's not like I haven't been blamed all my life for shit that fucking I am not fucking guilty of in the first place, so it wouldn't be the first time. um so yeah, I'm like, be with whoever the fuck makes you it's not even necessarily happy, but whatever makes the most sense, besides for fucking with being practicing bestiality and fucking weird ass shit like that. I mean, just so much weird shit happens in this planet, and I be looking at society like, are y'all serious? It just gets worse and worse as the days go by, and I mean, it may be getting better. I don't know, maybe because my speculation is skewed, but and that's fair. I'll say that I'm very judgmental. I sure the fuck am, and I make no apologies for it. But I'm just kind of like, what the fuck? Oh, there's another piece that I was gonna say something about. Just because shit happens to certain people doesn't mean that that's something that y'all should be blaming people for. Like, for instance, I don't care how many times I gotta say it. My child is a product of rape, just like me. We have the last names of those who raped our mothers. Okay. And just because, first of all, I was never married and there was no relationship. This was not my boyfriend. This person's from a whole different fucking country. Here, don't speak no fucking English, and 2, 3 times my age. So let me just put that there. The other ideology that I find sickening and disgusting with this world is the ideology that brown women or women of color in general, even white women, it don't even matter how the fuck, because we get abused or something happens to us, because most oftentimes we are born into family dynamics and hierarchies that are so fucking toxic, but then we get blamed for the fucking bullshit that happens to us. I mean, at every fucking corner, every turn, every twist, we are blamed. We're blamed, and it's used against us, these so called mental disorders. And they're not mental disorders, they're side effects of being traumatized our fucking entire existence. Because we're being with both male and female who have a hard time with living up to their words. You say one thing, you doing something completely diabolically, intrinsically fucking nefarious, but you're saying that you're like this. But we have to deal with that, and then y'all want to call it a mental disorder? No, it is actually a proper reaction to the disorder of our disorderly lives, of tolerating bullshit that we were born into that we shouldn't have been. Had people actually been practicing what they fucking say that they are and that they do and what they believe. Okay? Like I said before, and maybe you haven't heard me say it before, but I'm going to tell you. I have more issues with the one who is claiming to be the beacon of light, all the while is a snake. I have more respect for the snake who tells me that they're a snake. I have much more respect for the one that tells me that they're a snake. As a matter of fact, in this world, if anything, and I don't care what anybody has to say, it's been some of the people that y'all point fingers at in this society, and you guys say that's a bad person. I mean, I've seen it happen historically speaking. I've seen it happen, individually, personally, interpersonally, where you guys are quick to point a finger at somebody and say that's the bad guy right there. And they might be a bad guy. They might be, because sometimes they've told me, yeah, okay, so here I am, the snake, okay, right? And the snake could be, a criminal, so to speak, but has had more respect for me than y'all who are claiming that you're fucking Christians. You're claiming that you're authority figure. You're claiming all of these things, but yet here I feel more safe around a fucking snake than I do around you guys who are pretending and putting on a mask saying that you're this and that you're that and that you're here for this. How is it so? How is it so? I'll take my chances with the one over there who y'all are saying is bad guy, bad one right there. That one's terrible. I've been able to be around this one who you guys always blame and say is the terrible one. But then when I get around y'all who are so called law abiding, you don't have no fucking criminal history record, but y'all end up being some of the most diabolically disgusting creatures. How is that so? How does that work? So, yes, again, just because things happen to us, first of all, does not mean that that is our fault. And this applies not just for females, it applies to anybody who was alive and breathing or still is. Just because something happens to us doesn't mean that that gives people a fucking exception to throw us under the bus or claim that we're somehow responsible for the conduct of someone else. We don't have no control over how someone else reacts, responds, or engages. That's their decision. That's what they're choosing to do with their power, is to be like that, regardless of if somebody said, go do this, regardless. And if you don't have any governance over your own ability to operate, then what the fuck are you doing in your vessel? Get on gone. Do the 2-step and walk it out. Because I don't care what anybody has to say. And just because somebody tells me to go jump to the moon doesn't mean that I'm obligated to do that. Even if they offer me something or tell me to sign something, if I can't do it or if I don't want to do it, that's up to me. Regardless of what I said, if I raised the right hand, the left hand, if I did the hokey pokey, if I signed on the dotted line, it don't fucking matter. And then, if there's consequences, well, there's always consequences, good or bad or not. Consequences are not always bad. Consequences is inevitable. But you can also consider consequences cause and effect, action, reaction. Yeah. So, anyways, just because a lot, just because a lot of us are born into, I guess you could say, karmic families, does not mean that we should be held to a standard of either being participants of it. When a motherfucker says no, or they get away from folks, there needs to be just a clear, conscious understanding. This needs to be accepted into the knowledge database, wherever that book is. Write this in the book, because I'm writing it in the book. When somebody has the conscious and the conscience to separate, that is their entitlement, be them children or teenager or adult. When somebody says, fuck, enough is enough, or I'm good on that, I don't want to be a participant, let it be. Who the fuck is anybody? What the hell be wrong with y'all? Y'all just like, no, you were born as someone who was obligated to being a human test subject. You were born into a very karmic family who used you as a scapegoat. You were born being oppressed. You were born into being subjugated, into fucking disgusting and really just traumatizing affairs. So who are y'all to think that it's acceptable to follow someone and to fucking bullshit with them and to sabotage them for until, I guess, what, to their grave? Who the fuck are y'all? Aren't y'all grown? Are you grown enough? Because I would like to know, are there adults enough? Are y'all, superior enough to just leave people alone? If somebody has the ability to see that the behaviors and the culture within these families, within these communities, within this world, within this nation, within the country, within the cities, the state, so on, so forth. If they can recognize it, leave them alone. If they don't want to fucking be a participant of it, leave them alone. Leave them alone. What's hard about that? Is it hard? And this especially, I'm saying this specifically because I was born into a very fucking I was born into a scandalous Ponzi scheme called a family, and I will not honor it as such because it is not a family. A family does not do that to one of its own kind. A family would never betray, commit treason, lie on, oppress, turn into a slave, sell, um, degrade, inflict with all of their issues and all of their shortcomings. A family does not do that. That is not what a family does. A family is a unit which should hold, nothing should be able to penetrate the loyalty of keeping it and maintaining it. Anything or anyone that deviates from that ideology as a so-called adult or family unit is not that, but frauds. You don't treat your own children, your own parents, your own anything like that. Now you can separate, yes. If it doesn't align with your conscience, that's fine. Be it for good or for bad. But you don't get to keep hold of anyone who doesn't want to be there. It's by choice, not by force. And it's sad that I learned that from a fucking pimp. That should embarrass y'all in this world. Anyway. It should embarrass you. A pimp. Goddamn. Bye. What I meant to say is, I don't like the ideology of race loyalty in regards to partnerships, procreation, relationship dynamics. I find it very insulting and really shallow and closed minded and stupid and really just like medieval, like seriously, that people actually still believe this. Like, you must be with your own kind, and if you as if as if another human being is not your own kind, as if another animal or mammal, with the exception of course of you don't cross over to fucking with wolves and fucking chickens though. Like, come on now. Just obviously they walk upright, okay? Some damn hybrid of transmutation. We're all just mutants. Okay? Okay. I need it to register. Anyways, so if you can, the quick way of knowing whether somebody is of your kind, it has little to do with your aesthetics or phenotype. It has nothing to do with that actually. It has more so to do with are you able to procreate? Whether you have a discrepancy in your so-called sexual reproductive organs is irrelevant here. But are you able to sexually engage with each other and you have the right tools to do so? Do you have the right operating system? Are you like the Mac OS system? Okay. Well, you're both the Mac OS system. So therefore that would imply whether you're a hybrid or a super breed or a hybrid or crossbreed, crossed 5 times over and then circled around the pool 50 more times. Doesn't matter. The point is if you are some aspect or some spin-off of a Homo sapien, what they call Homo sapien, you're the beast, you're the same type of beast, yeah. Blinking eyes, eyelashes, you got 2 ears there, nose, hands, feet, legs, I'm not going to get into the deformities of people, but even them. If you if you're paying taxes or not, or living off of someone else's taxes, I'm pretty sure you're the same race. You might be a difference on a different spectrum, but you're the same race. And I hate to be the bearer of news, but anyone who thinks, I don't care how much money you have or how poor you are, if it happens that you're within, some type of healthy formulation of being, and your reproductive organs still work, and if you were to accidentally or blatantly or through theft, if you were to procreate, somebody would be able to inseminate, and another one would be able to receive that as a receptacle of insemination. It would create an embryo. That embryo would become a child, a developed baby that you push out, the skull and all, through your vagina, through the uterus. That means that you're the same race. I know some people really, it's hard to digest, but it is what it is. And anyone who deviates from this ideology needs to go ahead and put your information down below, because I'm going to get you scheduled in to start your courses of the school that they should have taught you, but they just didn't feel like honoring.
Welcome to
I'll
All Tech
teach you, but it's
Lansing.
going to cost you. Okay? Here, but are you able to sexually engage with each other and you have the right
tools to do so? Do you have the right operating system? Are you like the Mac OS system? Okay. Well, you're both the Mac OS system. So therefore that would imply whether you're a hybrid or a super breed or a hybrid or a crossbreed, crossed 5 times over and then circled around the pool 50 more times. Doesn't matter. The point is if you are some aspect or some spin-off of a Homo sapien, what they call Homo sapien, you're the beast, you're the same type of beast. Yeah. Blinking eyes, eyelashes, you got 2 ears there. Nose, hands, feet, legs. I'm not going to get into the deformities of people, but even them. If you if you're paying taxes or not, or living off of someone else's taxes, I'm pretty sure you're like this, you're the same race. You might be a difference on a different spectrum, but you're the same race. And I hate to be the bearer of news, but anyone who thinks, I don't care how much money you have or how poor you are, if it happens that you're within, some type of healthy formulation of being, and your reproductive organs still work, and if you were to accidentally or blatantly or through theft, consent, or from some sick, twisted event, that if you were to procreate, somebody would be able to inseminate and another one would be able to receive that as a receptacle of insemination and would create an embryo. That embryo would become a child, a developed baby that you push out, the skull and all, through your vagina, through the uterus. That means that you're the same race. I know some people really, it's hard to digest, but it is what it is. And anyone who deviates from this ideology needs to go ahead and put your information down below, because I'm going to get you scheduled in to start your courses of the school that they should have taught you, but they just didn't feel like honoring, because I'll teach you, but it's going to cost you. Okay? So yeah, this if you shall deviate and have the dare audacity to be attracted to what you find to be attracted to, not only will we humiliate you, but we will do everything in our power to abuse you for having the audacity to like what you like. As if do you have any real control over that? I'm not really sure, because it seems like the only ones who have had much leeway in being able to do whatever they want to do is those ones who are abusive and exploitative of power, whereas they generally target. The general target is one is much older and has been living in that vessel for longer than the other target. So you have one, the predator, and then the so-called prey, or you could even say trap. Whereas there's all types of exceptions being made for young children, young adults, and I don't care what anybody has to say. In my mind, this is my idea, is that if you're under the age of 26, I'm not saying that you're excusable of all of your shortcomings. I'm not. But what I am saying is that generally speaking, most brains are not fully developed until about 25, 26 years old. Now add to that, you compound that, such as where that brain development is hindered, deterred, or is very much compromised through this use or this imposition. And by imposition, I just mean an intrusion of, what can we call it? Things of which do not allow a brain to become fully developed, or something that gets in the way, blocks, or prevents maturity to be established mentally. Okay? Mm-hmm. So to be a mature adult takes more than just, reaching a certain age. I mean, you have grown adults who are well over the age of even 40 who are out here acting a whole goddamn fool and just so immature and just really bizarre. It's very bizarre to me. Now, mind you, I didn't have very many. As a matter of fact, I don't think I ever did have any examples of what it actually meant to be a mature adult. But get this, what I'm not saying is there are not mature adults. I'm saying I didn't have those prior to my development. It took me well into my older years, and most of it I had to learn on my own. You would think that, if it were true, you become a product of your environment, that I'd be one fucking nuts, crazy ass, evil bitch. You would think that. And I'm not saying that I'm not evil. I'm just saying you would assume that if the statement is true, that you become a product of your environment. I'm saying that I should have all types of exceptions being made.
I'm saying I would be well within my right to be the King Kong fucking bitch of the Wicked West if that's the case, that you're a product of your environment. I own this motherfucker is what I'm saying. All right, continue.
Compared to what my environment was, there should be no, gasp of air. How dare you? No, it should be perfectly fine if I were to go off the fucking deep end, because I mean, if you're going based upon the theory of products of our environment, then I should be Satan. That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
I should be Satan, the devil, and Lucifer, and God. According to this ideology, I would be within my full scope and privilege to be the beast of all beasts. I really should, and there should be no
Consequences.
there should just be no questioning to that. There should be nothing. There should be nothing said, because if we're going by the trope of, oh well, they're mentally disabled, so they're entitled to be criminals, and we're products of our environment. Don't you blame them? They had a hard life, and if that's the case, I'm fine with that. If we want to go by that theory, which we don't. We see this theory that is very much skewed, and it allows and perpetuates folks who are criminals. Yes, they are. And a lot of them don't even have no record. They have no criminal record, as a matter of fact. A lot of them do. It's just the truth. They don't have no criminal record, but they should. Or you have it to where, us as young kids, young adults, all of that, we were taught, without anybody having to say this, we were taught that you don't ever challenge someone who is older than you. Not because they are elders of ours, not because they're leading by examples, not because they're showing us that they are dependable, simply because that's just what their age is, and that the behaviors of them are not to even be questioned, because when it came to being engaged with many different agencies, many different services, many different institutional providers, I suppose, y'all showed us time and time and time and time and time again, before we even reached the age of majority, that you didn't give a flying fuck about what the fuck happens to us. And it was perfectly okay for these abusers, who are supposed to be adults, who are supposed to be protectors, who are supposed to be loyal to us, instead, benefiting off of us and our mayhem, and leaving us in destitute and very traumatizing and chaotic environments. Now, what I'm not saying either is that it's even the institution's fault or it's their responsibility, because ultimately it's not. And I know a lot of people have a hard time with accepting this truth. But if people procreate you, the responsibility resides with those who make you. Now, it's very often we see that usually out of the procreation of a child, something happens along the way. And usually what happens is a false sense of control and entitlement. So somebody wants to move on with their life and the other one ain't having it, whether that's male or female. This is another vomit-worthy fucking approach to the cultural appropriation, which I'm just like, is so fucking beneath me. And I've seen it, I've experienced it myself as someone who is a product of rape, who had a child from rape. And my child is with a rapist. and my child has spoken up, just like I did when I was younger, about the abuse that goes on, do you think anybody cared? No. Do you think they did anything to solve the problem? Hell no. As a matter of fact, there was probably a lot of people jacking off and fingering themselves at the mere idea that they were able to do this and get away with it and do it without any penalty, without any consequence, without anything. But lo and behold, when you stand up for what's right, what do we see, children? We see often, time and time again, those who are mature and oftentimes are younger are given the short end of the stick, are thrown into a cage, told, you're a bad girl, you're a bad boy, and sit, or come here, come on, come here, puppy, come here. That's what the fuck we're treated like, and taxed. And guess what? Those taxes also pay for us to be punished. So I have issues with this. Anyone who deviates from that and wants to make exceptions for this ass backwards ass culture, honestly, is part of the problem. You're part of the problem. And it needs to transmute, or just, I don't even know. I don't care, quite frankly, because it's not going to stop me from being who I want to be. That's too bad if you got an issue with that. But yeah. So my main theme was a lot of basically three different issues. My key issues was I'm tired of the loyalty to this bullshit. You're supposed to be with this person because of this color that they are, or because of this faith that they are, because of this religion that they are, or because they have this last name, or because they come from money, or because they don't come from money, or because of whatever. Who cares? The fuck? If you like someone and they happen to fucking like you, why can't it be that? And why can't y'all, what the fuck do y'all see that's so attractive in children any goddamn way? Okay? Next is the next one was that basically the ideology of, because something happened to you, and whether you're intelligent or whether you're a certain demographic, and some people confuse this with privilege, and it's not always so. Just because someone is intelligent, or just because somebody is a certain demographic, or comes from whatever somebody's stereotype is, or assumption of that person being unable to be offended, or being unable to be disrespected by someone else. It's not that hard to disrespect somebody or to be disrespected. It's really not hard. So when we're basically held accountable for that which is happening to us, not that we are guilty of, how the fuck am I supposed to be guilty of what has happened to me? Why am I being charged, penalized, having to pay for, and having to pay a price for something that another motherfucker did to me? I ain't doing to them. And then lastly is the ideology of, oh, well, you're part of such and such club, even though you can express in a number of ways that you're actually not part of such and such club, even if you may be of the same so-called blood as them. Like, so what? Fucking, we're products of rape. So are you really going to say that we have to be this whatever? Why isn't this motherfucker locked up is my question. I thought this shit was on the books, that this is an illegal activity. So what the fuck is going on? Exactly. Anyways, so this thing where just because you come from a certain family or whatever, that you should have to take on their bullshit personality or bad name. Fuck that shit. I divorced them in the quickness. Scratch out the last name. I got nothing to do with it. As a matter of fact, I don't even need a last name. Thank you. Moving on. So there you go.
For real though. Especially to the black sheep, scapegoats, and the outcasts and whatnot. Or if you're a product of rape, or a product of non-consensual, whatever y'all want to call it. Whole lots of us is born out of non-consensual activities. Anyways.
Greetings, Earthlings, or whatever y'all is. Okay, so there's some things on my mind. So, if you don't know, now you know, because I'm going to tell you. For one, that I don't like being in this world, but it is what it is. Like, I'm not suicidal or anything like that, and I'm not even sad when I say this. I'm not depressed or nothing. I'm just kind of like, I come to every day that I think, that passes by, I just get closer and closer to this aspect of this is some bullshit. And I'm just disgusted by it. I'm repulsed by it. But at the same time, like I don't want to throw up, but it's like I just like go, what the fuck, dude? Okay, so by no means do I ever say, I'm just the light and the life and the lamb and the Jesus Christ. I don't do any of that. See, people are foolish because they think that because somebody, whether okay, let's just go on ahead and say this. On one side, when you come into like the hood in the ghetto or whatever, folks treat you, they target you because you speak, you articulate well, you speak, you know, proper, so called, even though I really don't. But they think that because you're nice and you smile and you're pretty and that you might be, abundant or have things, be resourceful, you're giving, have to share and care and all these things, that means that's the target right there. They think that because you're someone who is they see a positive aspect of you or they see a balanced aspect of you and you're not going around going, you know what I'm saying, bitch? I'm gonna beat that fucking ass, dumb hoe. So you're not doing all that, right? So they think that you're a fucking target because you talk how you talk, you enunciate your words, you're not a stingy ass bitch and you're not a backstabber. Like you don't go out of your way to be a fucking whole fucking grumpy ass bitter fucking bitch. Well, I mean, I get it to a degree because sometimes you're just gonna have to fucking bite. I get it, I really do. But the thing is like I'm so fucking done with that dumb shit. And I'm gonna go on the flip side too. I'm gonna talk about what it's like on the other side as well. Because there's a lot of different sides, but let's just pretend like there's two, okay? So on the one side, you have the poverty side, right? The poverty side treats us like we ain't shit because we treat them like they are, right? So then you go to the other side where they have money, they have resources, and then they treat us like shit, but they do it in a coy ass way. They do it in a way that makes you won't even know until you actually analyze it and then see it. So they're like, it's like both sides got us fucked up, right? So that's why I choose no side. I don't like nobody's side. I think everybody's full of fucking shit. I really do. And there's a small margin of us who are just that real fucking deal. By no means do I say that I'm perfect, but I'm pretty fucking close, even though I know that I have flaws. But my flaws, even I consider perfect, and I don't give a fuck how anybody feels. To have self-esteem or to have self-worth to in this world is like a fucking threat, and not just a threat. It's like something motherfuckers want to fucking grab their water hose and dose it out. And you motherfuckers who do this dumbass shit are fucking stupid as hell. I don't understand it. But, and I don't want to understand it neither. So don't even bother trying to rationalize with it because I'm not going to make sense out of shit that don't make sense. Okay, so back at what I was saying. On the flip side, if you're intelligent or if if you're aware of a lot of things or you know how to follow, whatever, follow along in what's going on and you can call people out on their shit because the expectation is for us to fulfill a stereotype. And because we, or at least I, don't go along with the scheduled programming, motherfuckers get pissed off at me and want to off my life and shit like that, which I find kind of comical because it's like, first of all, y'all have to come to the realization that we don't even fucking like it here no ways. So if you want to come at us, we would prefer that you come, on some real wholesome. If you're going to go to war, come at me, come to me and come do it. Don't fucking, be in the bushes trying to fucking throw little bullshit my way. Come at me. Just come to me and let's get it over with, you know. But you're gonna have to like kick down a door or go through the window, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. That is just fine. Like how the Kool-Aid guy, he goes, you know, oh yeah, and comes to be like the fucking Kool-Aid dude up in them commercials. That's what you're gonna have to do. Anyways, so yeah, I don't give a fuck that people don't like me in this world or the shit that I have to say. It need be said. And fuck y'all. Y'all culture and y'all fucking willingness to go along with this stupid ass shit because, oh, well, we get what we want. And, you know, we end up getting what we want, or we'll just take your shit. Well, see, that's the dumb shit. And that's why shit don't work. And it's not going to work. And it'll never work because y'all refuse to accept it. You refuse to accept it. First of all, I'm going to tell you this disclaimer. There's nothing that you cannot have, okay, with the exception of if somebody else like you has a beating heart, it has blood, there's a possibility that you can have them momentarily, but you won't be able to have them eternally. Nobody can achieve this. That's why it is not acceptable if somebody's at a state of consciousness. So that means they have a conscience, they can think. You know, your games are fucked because you're fucking around with shit, and there's levels to it. You don't fuck around like that. And that's what happens. Y'all have a weird issue with letting people fucking go. It's by choice, not by force. You don't fucking try and keep something that is not able to stay. What are you going to do? Beat it to death? It's dead now. The it that you thought it was. But see, if they're vibrating with you at the same time, that's mammon just like you. So you want to say angelic, demonic, God, devil, whatever y'all, I don't give a fuck what y'all want to title yourselves. I'm everything and I'm nothing. I don't put myself above or below until you allow me to. And once you allow me to, motherfucker, then I put myself where the fuck I need to be. And I'm going to say what I need to say. Regardless of what you do, how you feel, what you think, what you want to believe, I don't care. A million, trillion, bazillion, gazillion motherfuckers can be like, oh, but that's not true. Guilty. You know, bullshit like that. I'm going to be like, okay, well, I don't fucking care. Because I know what I'm talking about. I don't have to know what I'm talking about all the time, but I know what I'm talking about because it's like even when I'm right, I'm wrong, or when I'm wrong, I'm right. So yes, it's not a matter of being the good one. It's not a matter of being this positive beam of light. Oh, hallelujah! Thank you, Jesus. And fuck you. And you got me fucked up. Like I said, I have more respect for a fucking pimp than I do for a pulpit pimp. Why? How dare you? Because I don't, let's keep it real. I don't like pimps like that. But I'm not going to I have more respect for him than I do for this motherfucker over here. At least he's telling the truth. Okay? You got this one over here fucking doing all types of bullshit and have the fucking nerve. Okay? That one's way worse than this one over here. I mean, both of them, I consider them, you know, you know, but it is what it is. It is what it is. It's kind of like you can't even be mad. If a motherfucker tell you I'm a snake, what am I mad for? You told me you're a snake. What am I upset for? I'm not upset. That's just, it is what it is. But anyways, back at the ranch, and I'm getting annoyed, real annoyed with these motherfuckers here on this planet talking about, you know, just have positive thoughts, you know, and let bygones be bygones and forgive. What is it? Forgive and forget. Forgive, can't forget. Always some bullshit. The parables that motherfuckers want to keep repeating. Fuck y'all with y'all parables. First of all, you do not turn the other cheek unless it's gonna be fucking turning another cheek of that motherfucker to sock him on their other side. That's what the fuck that is. You hit me, motherfucker, you getting hit back. You fucking curse me, bitch, you finna be cursed back. That's how it should work each and every time. And I'm getting real annoyed of these motherfucking low life motherfuckers who cut corners. Okay, bitch, first of all, I don't call the cops for stupid ass shit. I'm gonna call the cops for necessary reasons, right? I can't stand it. How the fuck we got males on this planet who have nerve enough to do these crimes? First of all, Pedro, yes, I'm saying your name, nigga. Pedro Pantoja. You came here fucking illegally, first of all. You raped Veronica Vasquez. She was 14 years old. You was a whole grown ass nigga. What are you doing? Coming over here and continuing your disrespect. And then your broke ass couldn't even send no fucking money to her. What the fuck you mean you can't send $5 American over to Mexico? Don't the peso stretch pretty fucking far? $5 can do a whole lot in Mexico. And you can't even do that for your own two children that you left with the child. That 14 years old is a child. And you left her in Mexico. And in extreme poverty in Mexico. It's one thing to be fucking in poverty in Mexico. It's another thing to be in poverty over here. And poverty over here for a Mexican is fucking rich. Let's keep it all the way real. So, nigga, you fucked up on, you did many violations. Never mind the motherfuckers who couldn't speak up and do shit about it and fucking, I have to go sit in solitary confinement. Let's talk about fucking Tasha Roybal. Fuck you too, bitch. Because yo ass, I would have given you some fucking money either way for fucking bailing me out. How you gonna take my money and fucking go and fucking buy a heroin and buy your cell phone, pay off your cell phone, go buy to the tobacco shop and spend hundreds? What the fuck was you buying from the goddamn tobacco shop anyways that cost hundreds of dollars? Whatever, bitch. You got me fucked up and you just pathetic. Talking about, and you shouldn't have kidnapped your daughter. Do you know how retarded you sound? You sound retarded. Now, motherfuckers love to blame the devil and be like, oh, they're demonic. And yes. Demonic is true. Hell, I'm demonic too. Everybody's got a little bit of something. And my thing is you can't have one without the other. If you're going to have one, you might as well go ahead and appease the other. And that's my thing, my next bit that I'm going to say. How y'all motherfuckers out here talking straight up 100% full-fledged? I don't believe in full-fledged anything. So how you going to be 100 truly percent a pure demon? How the fuck you ain't got no light in there at all, nigga? None? Not none? Not an inkling. You can't find no light. It's just dark. There's nothing in there. You can't see shit. You better bring some batteries and a flashlight because you can't see shit. There ain't nothing to see. The fuck? You got us fucked up. And then for you other fake ass, phony ass motherfuckers, oh my God, it's repulsive. Talking about, your thoughts and blah, blah, blah. And that bullshit is annoying as hell. That bullshit right there. And talking about forgive and forget. No, bitch. Stop it now. There's some shit that is unforgivable. I'm so serious. Talking about it, well, if you don't forgive, God won't forgive you. And what's your point? Is there a point to be made? I don't give a fuck. Because in that case, I'd be like, you know what? I know better than God in this circumstance. I'm not forgiving a motherfucker who is not fucking repentant. You have to repent first in order to actually have the accessibility of forgiveness. So while y'all keep trying to spew out this fucking half-ass, half-read fucking scripture, you fucking need to follow the full fucking recipe if you gonna fucking be giving it to me. Because, nigga, I'll make my own shit from scratch. You got me fucked up. I don't need no book to tell me what the fuck I know is the sensible, rational thing to do. You fucking hit me, you getting hit back. You lie on me, bitch. Well, I might not lie on you, but I'll do something to make it an equalizer. Because I'm not big on lies. I feel like, lies is lies. Sometimes we do lie. Like I'll be like, I don't feel like getting my fat ass up right now. Knowing that statement is kind of like half true, half lie. You know what I mean? So everybody lies to some degree. But my thing is motherfuckers act like, oh my God, like, ew, like just disgusting. Some of the most fakest motherfuckers exist in them churches. You know it. Don't y'all hoes know it? Go ahead. I can kind of hear them in the back. I hear them. Yeah, you motherfuckers make me sick to my goddamn stomach. Not really, but hypothetically speaking or figuratively speaking, right? So the context of that, oh, you're trying to fit in, trying, bitch. You know who was also insulting? There's this one dark-skinned girl in the back of the bus gonna say, and I think I was 6th, 7th grade. She said, "Oh, why you sound white? Why you talk like a white girl?" I said, "The fuck? I talk like I'm white? I do? I didn't know that you could talk like a fucking color. I didn't know that you could do that. How to talk like you white? Are you implying that to talk black means, you know what I'm saying? That's what it means? Is that what it means to talk black? Because that's just some bullshit to me. That sounds really stupid." I get what you mean, but if I talk like this, what is I talking like that? Si quiero Taco Bell. Am I talking like a Mexican? Did you forget about the Puerto Ricans and fucking? Did you forget about them? The Ecuadorians? Did you forget about the Hondurans? I mean, it's like this one size fits all fucking ideology is annoying to me. Or like, which one of your parents is white? Oh, you cute. You mix. That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. No, I'm cute because I'm cute, nigga. That's why. The fuck? Kind of retarded ass. Was that supposed to be a compliment? That shit made me throw up in my mouth. It's just weird. All y'all asses is weird. Oh, and another thing was everybody's got all the smoke for and I don't like to I don't consider myself a victim. No. I don't consider myself a victim, but what I do say is that some fucked up shit happened to me just like a lot of fucked up shit happened to y'all. I mean, that's what happens when y'all let these motherfuckers be able to feel so goddamn free and entitled to do the dumb shit. And fuck that. At the end of the day, it's kind of like some shit is worth dying for, to live for, To live for it, a lot of things are worth dying for. And, people, I suppose, are afraid of losing their lives. And I'm sitting here going like, what life? What life is y'all about to lose? Y'all ain't about to lose no goddamn life. This ain't no life. If it's not a life worth living, then it's definitely a life worth dying for. That's what the fuck I believe. The fuck? I'll be damned. And I'm not holding my truth in. I mean, at the very least, for fuck's sake, y'all better start fucking talking some real fucking truth and stop fucking bowing down to these motherfuckers who don't give a fuck. They don't give a goddamn about you. So the least you could do is fucking tell them exactly what's on your mind. That's the least you can do. Because it's right. It's absolutely correct. Like, for instance, how dare y'all want me to you want me to be able to pay taxes, to be able to work, to be able to, be a citizen without being a citizen at all, baby, at all. So you feel entitled to apprehend me. You feel entitled to chastise me. You feel entitled to pay me less, even though I'm the one who was training y'all. You feel entitled to do all of these things, but then when it comes to any type of nope, you can't get no benefits, but we can definitely take from you. And that's that fuckery that I'm just not about. If it's okay for me to have to be liable for shit, then there better be some benefits, because I'll be damned this one-sided fucking bullshit. Another thing is that everybody is trafficked, by the way. Everybody is. And on top of that, it gets really fucking insulting, this hamster wheel of everything day in and day out. I mean, it's one thing to be like ungrateful, but some things you should be ungrateful for. Like, if you know that you fucking worked your ass off, or you spent your whole life, like all of us did, but some of us it was more traumatic than others. Okay, some of us more traumatic than others. It's just the simple gist of it. We are all trafficked, or were trafficked. It's just a variation to what degree of the trauma was inflicted upon you, that you witnessed, or that you dealt out yourself, or partook in, or enabled. But everybody's part of this transaction, and that's just is what it is. And I mean, it's a bitter pill to swallow, but not really. And believe it or not, this might be offensive to some folks. I don't really give a fuck, but I'm not against slavery, but what type of slavery are we talking about? If we're talking about whips and chains and shit, then nah, nigga, bye. I don't even want to come to the fucking community meeting. What do they call it? The neighborhood watch meeting. I don't want to come. No, I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is the fuck sitting behind concrete all day, not doing nothing. You might as well. If it had to come down to like actual punishment, I'd be like, you better not kill nobody, because if you do, I feel like you'd be in debt to that family for a long, long, long time until they're done being mad, and then you can quote forgive them. But anyhow, yeah, it's just the fuckery for me. No, the
motto I'd like to preach is forget, don't forgive. Okay, try forget for the most part, but never never forget. Never forget their name and their face, but forgive yourself. How about that? Forgive yourself for being decent and having decency and having a heart enough that but unfortunately, motherfuckers, again, they take that shit for granted. They don't care, or they just like, I'm in it for myself. But I'm like, I get it. So it's not a bad thing to be in it for yourself. But do you have to fucking be treasonous along with it? Do you have to be a fucking goddamn fly in a gnat about it, or what? Like, another thing I heard also, motherfuckers be like, narcissist this, narcissist that, empath this, empath that. Neither one are bragging rights, by the way. Neither one are bragging rights. It just seems to me that you can be both, sure, or have both qualities. I think it's essential. Just like I said, you need one. You need to be gray. In my opinion, you need to be gray. I go by that. That is my theology. I suppose you have to be gray. You can't just be white and you can't just be black. You got to be like silver, gray, platinum, somewhere in there. You could be a dark gray, a light gray. You got to be somewhere in there because that's the only way it would make sense to me. Okay. Am I making sense? Because it should make perfect sense. It really should make perfect sense. Um. So yeah, all this foolishness of you have to be pure and you must be, and just follow this book exactly how it's written. And don't you dare take a word from it. Burn it. That's my dark side. My dark and my light side be like, they both be like, burn that shit. How dare you fucking limit me to a fucking book? And who told you? How the fuck you gonna tell me? How you gonna tell me? Oh, it's blind faith. Well, bitch, I'm not Stevie Wonder. And how you know that he's actually blind? Huh? I don't know. I don't have the facts. Y'all telling me some shit. I don't trust nothing that nobody says. Nothing. Nothing. And I don't give a fuck that people fucking they fucking take my kindness as a weakness. I'm glad that they do. Good. Cause now all they gonna get is a fucking devil. You treat me like a fucking piece of shit, motherfucker, and think that how I've treated you like royalty was unfitting. It says more about you. Says that you know that you ain't worthy of no goddamn respect. So I'm gonna treat your ass accordingly. But see, the thing is, y'all play so many games, and everybody's hip to this game of fuck everybody over, and it's me, and nobody else. And I'm like, well, there it goes. So then where's the complaint at? I have no complaints. See, the issue becomes motherfuckers want to be able to have a lifetime membership on us as if the motherfuckers didn't come out of a vagina themselves. Like you ain't come out of your mother's uterus and cervix yourself. Like so for them to augment their fucking mental capacity and really assume, and then on top of that, and they do this to younger folks, male or female, it doesn't matter. You see these grown fucking parasites, goddamn bastards, and then you fucking want to have a lifetime membership, whether they be your blood or not. Lifetime membership, hooking your fucking filthy, dirty ass claws into somebody like you could just drink from the fucking juice box like that. And like, no, bitch. And if you're gonna drink from this juice box, I expect you to fucking clean up your mess and fucking pay for the shit. As long as there's fucking checks and balances around here, nigga, pay the fuck up. Where's my money? You stealing children? You was able to rape me and steal my baby, motherfucker, and lie to me on top of that. Had me locked up in solitary confinement with no money on my books because this dumb hoe over here felt entitled to spend the money on fucking heroin and fucking leave me up in there as if I wasn't going to give her some money for fucking spending my own money to get me the fuck out of jail. That's some bitch ass shit. That's some bitch motherfucking bullshit. And y'all too grown. And y'all know that too. And it's insulting. It's insulting to us. It's like, how dare you? How dare you? So then, yeah, y'all got this system where you motherfuckers can get locked up and you lucky. Because it's not, y'all think we scared and we're not. We sitting here going, you lucky that we prefer to not be in a fucking cage. Hmm? And I swear they need to have a national fucking holiday. They need to introduce the national beat your ass down, to enter a new year, like how they have it in Guatemala. So I heard their culture goes, rather than starting off the new year, everybody's pissed off at each other, because of last year or some bullshit or whatever happened in the fucking community that last year. What they do is children and senior alike, everybody of all ages, they go on ahead and they go fist to fist. If somebody pissed you off that year or something happened, some drama, you get to whoop that motherfucking ass. You don't get to jump them, but you do get to beat their ass. And, at least you're living. You might have a broken rib, some teeth missing, whatever. Who cares? Who cares? So I feel like it's only fair. Just whoop that ass. And then you can start the new year clean. That would teach people, you just don't fuck people over. Because it one on one, just fucking beat their ass. May the best one lose or win or both. Don't matter. And then you start the new year off, maybe a little bit in pain or feeling, finally. Because could you imagine the feeling? Because I remember when I was young, like I don't know how old, maybe like 6, 7, and I remember the the faux family would fight, and I would win. And then the faux family, the girl, she would go in and tell her mom, and then I get my ass whooped with a belt because I beat her daughter's ass. Well, she's the one who wanted to play. She said, "Come on, let's fight," and then get mad because I'm winning. Okay, I mean, how dare you? Don't fucking tell me that you want to play, and then get mad because I don't fucking lose, so that you can feel good. Fuck you. But we're just playing. Mad because I whooped that ass.
And not just that, but like when she would be trying, like basically they had conditioned me to be like able to take ass whoopings and taking a lot of pain, pain endurance. But it's like, how dare you? It's okay for you to swing on me, all types of reckless and all forceful. But like if I swing back and defend myself or engage in this so-called play, you're okay with me playing just as long as I accept your abuse. But you're not okay if you get the same back. So then she'd be mad because, oh, that shit actually hurt when I would swing back, and just whoop that ass. But it's like, why engage in the game at all if you're not willing to take the risk of losing or winning? And that's just the risk. Don't ask me to come play. Because if you're just expecting me to go to acquiesce to your want and desire to win, then fuck you. Don't ask me to play. Because I mean, it's not so much an effort of trying to win or trying to defeat someone, but it's like if you operate in your capacity, give or take, then that's just what it is. You can dish it out, but you can't take it.
And I'll do it again. Anyways, yeah, that's enough. Bye. Ah. Another thing. One more thing. How was it? Yeah, okay. So for folks, those of us who basically was born into the being, full fledged, we was not honored our childhoods and shit like that. Don't it get real annoying when, you was fucking abused, used in funding for every fucking body, and then they have nerve enough to try and make a felon out of you, and it's just fucking sick. That's that bullshit I can't fucking stand. It's like they create a fucking fictitious ass character and say, well, you're a prostitute, you're a solicitor, you're a this, you're a that, you're a drug addict. No, we're not drug addicts. We're trying to numb pain and psychological side effects and disorders due to motherfuckers' inability to be adult.
And trying to make up for that of which um, is basically depreciated within us. Because, like, for instance, if you need dopamine because of the fact that you were deprived and stripped of having your innocence, you're going to do something and hopefully effectively, and what do they call it? Damage control. And I'm getting real tired. I've been tired of this fallacy that basically says that all drug users are addicts. No, they're not. And all drug users are criminals. No, they're not. And all drug users are irresponsible. No, they're not. There are those who are, those who simply are not. Those who are not, you can easily tell the difference between those who are and those who are not if you actually pay attention, and not through the creation of this modified behavior. And by modified behavior, what I usually mean by this is when you finally see someone who has been tampered, provoked, and bothered repetitiously, and then they finally react, and then folks can go, see, I told you, that shit's been old and played out. But then you look at the other, you look at the ladder, you look at the other end of the spectrum, and then take a look, just take a real good look and see what it is actually that has someone responding that way. Take a listen to what they actually have to say rather than just assuming based upon a narrative that has been fabricated and orchestrated. Like for instance, what was the one scam that was tried ran on me? The one scam that was ran on me was the fact that, oh, because I defend myself, and then I guess maybe because of the angle of the recording makes it seem like I'm somehow the aggressor, so that it could try to paint the narrative that I'm this violent, someone who's a bully, someone, yeah, bullshit bitch. But then it's like you look at the other end of that spectrum, and I'll show you if you were to ask and require it, but you're gonna have to pay me. So I'm gonna go, is that true? Okay, well, look at the date, look at the time, look at what was the events leading up to that, because you all got some severe issues. Not everybody, but a lot of people got severe issues or some type of hindrance as to actually investigating things, accurately investigate it. And then also ask the question to both or all elements of the so-called scenario. What does these individuals have to gain out of lying or telling the truth? What does this individual get out of lying or telling the truth? And I'd really like to know, what do I get out of lying to anybody about anything? What do I get out of it? Attention? Attention I don't want or need? Fame that I don't want or need? Money that I don't get or require? Okay. All right, continue on.
Like, and them taking their fucking problems and their issues out on us as if it's our problem. So, years of that, generations of that motherfucker. And the least you should be concerned about is what a motherfucker is consuming to keep themselves in alignment to the best of their ability, so that they don't turn into the motherfucking creatures that impose them with these disorders and these discrepancies. So I get really fucking I feel all types of ways when motherfuckers be like, oh, a drug addict. I don't give a fuck that a motherfucker does drugs. I'm more concerned of two things. Are they pregnant? Yes or no? Okay, that's one. The second one is, what are they doing when they're consuming these drugs? Are they doing anything quote unquote criminal? Are they? Are they really? Or are they being law abiding? It's just, it is what it is. It's very simple. Because it's just too much. It's just, man, y'all should.
It's elementary.
It's so fucking retarded. I just don't even, I don't. It's annoying as fuck. It's really fucking annoying. It really truly is. Like, it's the dumbest shit I'm like, yeah, they have good elements, but just, just creating problems. Y'all create too many problems.
They have a good foundation or basis of what should be honored, but it's not carried out or executed in the manner of which it is written. Like, it'll say that's what they do. These are the statutes, these are the codes, but it's not honored. It is very much corrupted, and it has turned against those who you would assume it were to protect, but it does not, because it does not value those that it should be giving their faith and their loyalty to. Instead, it gives it to those who don't give a damn about it either way on both sides of the spectrum of criminal and those who authorize who is to be considered classified as a criminal. All right, go on ahead.
On purpose. On fucking purpose. And it's fucking annoying. Just so that you can have a career. Nobody told you that your fucking ass had to have a career. I didn't tell you that you needed to work for the rest of eternity. Clearly, somebody was intelligent enough to know how to make the computers, make the fucking robot over there, make the machine over there. What are y'all doing? What are you doing? Why don't you just let the machine do it? And why don't you just go live your lives peaceably? Why do you have to fucking still be fucking renegades and atrocious? I don't get that part. Just beating ass, beating the kids' ass, mopping the floor with the girls and the women, fucking over the dudes over there because he looked at you the wrong way. I mean, just the stupid ass shit. Unless you're what's his name? Money Mayweather? Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather.
Unless you're getting paid to do that shit, I don't get it. What's the point of doing all this extra unnecessary bullshit? Unnecessary. That's y'all fucking bullshit. It ain't got nothing to do with me. Anyways, goodbye.
Thanks for tuning in, y'all.